Hello and welcome back to my channel and to another week of what we eat for dinner. So we're starting out this week with a Five Guys style fakeaway because Five Guys is ridiculously expensive, and especially if there's 5 of you with 3 boys, it can cost a lot of money. So we've been making these for a really long time. They're our version of smash burgers. I'm sure you've seen them on this channel before. So I just start off by seasoning some beef mince. I typically use a higher fat percentage for this recipe because it makes the burgers a little bit more tender. Sometimes the low fat mince can dry out a bit and you are getting rid of the fat anyway. So I add garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and form it into meatballs. These are about 125 grams each, and then you just put them in a hot pan and flatten them down with a spatula. I do them for a couple of minutes on each side. It depends how much you flatten them to how long you need to cook them, but I don't cook them too much because I am going to reheat them later. And the reason I reheat them is, firstly, it makes them so much easier to eat, because if you try and eat a massive double burger, everything always falls out, or for me it does anyway, it flies out of the buns. And also you can prep these in advance because we're a family of 5 and my husband and my 2 older boys actually had 2 of these double burgers each. It's really nice to be able to make them during the day, wrap them all up and then just reheat them when you're ready. So after the burgers have been cooked, I just layer up my buns. You can use brioche buns, but I just had these normal Warburton's ones. And I like to use a combination of mayonnaise, mustard and ketchup. I also add some sliced gherkins and some cheese slices. Just layer up your burgers however you want. Some people put lettuce in, but I'm not over keen on that when it's reheated. Once my burgers are assembled, I will then wrap them really tightly in foil and put them to one side. Now after about 5 minutes of them sitting up one way, I actually turn them upside down and leave them to sit upside down for a while. It's not an essential step, but it's one of those things that I feel really makes a difference. It kind of distributes the liquids and the steam and the juices rather than them all just running to the bottom bun. It kind of runs back the other way as well. It makes sense if you try it, and if you've got time, just turn them over when you walk back in the kitchen and let the juices run both ways basically. When it comes down to reheating these, obviously it depends how long in advance you make them. These were only about an hour before I wanted to use them. I either do them in the oven or the air fryer, and they take around 5 to 8 minutes. Like I said, obviously if you've left them in the fridge or if you'd left them all day, they would take probably 25-30 minutes, but if you've made them that afternoon, start off with 5 minutes, maybe give them a check, leave them in the foil to heat them up, and then once you unwrap them, as you can see, they're all kind of glued together and they flatten down a little bit. The flavours have combined so that the bun, the burger, the cheese, the gherkin, everything is really nice and tasty all together. And they're really easy to eat, or much easier than they would be if you just ate them straight away when they were fresh. This cost an absolute fraction of the price that a takeaway would, like a McDonald's or a Five Guys. We knew exactly what went into them and we didn't have to leave the house. So they're really worth trying, and it's a real treat when you don't want to spend too much money. So tonight we've got a really simple one. We have got some corned beef spaghetti and some garlic bread with some parmesan cheese and black pepper on top, and this is what we have for dinner tonight. So for tonight's dinner I just added some peas to some instant noodles. I also cooked off some fried mushrooms, some vegetable gyoza and some seasoned chicken breast, and then I popped this all on the top and I drizzled it with this chili infused olive oil that I got in Lidl, and it makes it taste really good. It just adds that little bit of a kick, and that was our dinner on this evening. So another one of the favourite dinners in this house are chili dogs. These are jumbo hot dogs that I just put in some brioche buns. I actually had to do this in a bowl because it was so annoying. Every time I cut the brioche buns open, they just fell completely in half, and there was no way you were going to be able to pick these up and eat them. So I cooked the sausages and popped them in the cut open brioche buns. I then spooned over some chili mix from a tin. I actually got it in Lidl's because I didn't have any chili made up. Usually I will have some in the freezer. This was a tinned variety. I added some grated cheese and then I popped it all in the oven in these bowls, and it was definitely a knife and fork job, but it was really well received and it tasted amazing. So for our next meal we had a really simple chicken tandoori masala, and I served it with boiled rice and a few egg noodles on the side just because I didn't have enough rice to go round, so I kind of topped it up a little bit. Really simple but really tasty. So for tonight's dinner I made a lasagna using turkey mince. For some reason I really like turkey mince in a lasagna, and it's just one of my favourite dishes, to be honest. And I did serve this with a few oven chips for the boys. Steve and I had salad with ours, but teenagers love carbs with carbs and it's a real comfort dish. Came out really well, and we had so much leftovers, it was brilliant. I think I put more layers in this time, so you got that little bit more pasta, which is always good. And this is what we had for dinner tonight. So to be honest, this week's meals were definitely off the back of most of the family being really ill, so we all had varying appetites at different times, and to be honest I wasn't feeling like putting a lot of effort into variety, so they were all very basic, but I was just trying to feed people as and when and whoever wanted to eat. So this was just a simple barbecue sauce marinated chicken breast. I did some crispy thin sliced potatoes in the air fryer and served it with some coleslaw. And then the next night I bought some of these simple Greggs sausage rolls from Iceland, and you just cook them from frozen, and they are the actual ones that Greggs use, so they taste exactly the same, and just served them with some chips and salad, just again for another simple meal. And I knew that it was probably likely to be eaten and it didn't take too much effort, so I do promise that next week the meals of the week hopefully will be a little bit more interesting again. But until then, I will see you very soon. Take care, guys.
Did you make it? Did you break free? Did you manage to be who you wanna be? Maybe somewhere you think about me too.